Hey YouTube. So one more in my series of natural medicine on the flat Earth versus enslavement with the global pharmaceutical medicine society, medical deities. So this is just a little rant about how people are so enthralled with the M.D.s, the medical deities, and it's just so stupid. Well, my landlord's got a big kidney stone, and he's one of those guys that just whatever the doctor says, the doctor knows best. Well, if you've heard any of my others, I'm a big kombucha fan, and I've seen testimonies of people using kombucha to dissolve kidney stones. Well, trying to help the guy out, I got on YouTube and did a little research, and I find out that, malic acid is what dissolves kidney stones. And, kombucha has some malic acid, but there's a lot of fruits, like they say apples. Apple juice has a lot. So this guy's got a really big kidney stone. They can't, he says it's too big, they say it's too big for him to pass. So I said, so why don't you, start drinking malic acid? I'll help you out. I'll brew you some extra kombucha. You need apple cider vinegar, apple juice. I was going to lend him my juicer, And, but he acts like he's interested, but he's not. And if it was me and I had a kidney stone, I'd be drinking that stuff all day long. Just bathe your kidney in that malic acid, and that kidney stone is going to dissolve. Instead, he's miserable. He's on the couch, bitching and moaning about the pain, and then he's got to go to the doctor this and the doctor that, and they might have to do surgery. It's like, well, why don't you start drinking? I'll help you. He's like, yeah, well, maybe. This was weeks ago. He's not interested in doing it because I'm not a doctor, because it doesn't involve pharmaceutical drugs. He's too late. He doesn't want to try. I mean, what's it going to hurt you? Drink some apple juice. Drink some kombucha. Drink some apple cider. And cider vinegar and some of the other stuff they talk about, citrus fruits. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can bathe your kidney in this malic acid to start dissolving that kidney stone. Maybe you're not going to dissolve it all the way, but what's it going to hurt you? But, no, we're just going to do what the doctor says and be miserable. God forbid, you might have to make some apple juice, or you might have to, force yourself to drink some liquid, as opposed to like maybe going under the knife and being under anesthetic and in a hospital, where who knows once you go into a hospital what you're going to come out with. So these people are so hypnotized by this, by everything. This is a guy I would never even approach about flat Earth or chemtrails or anything like that. Actually I have pointed out chemtrails to him, but he's he just rolls his eyes like most people would. But, yeah, these people are so hypnotized by these medical deities that all they're done is train to write prescriptions, and they go through school, and that's what they're taught in school. They're not taught any real doctoring. They're taught how to prescribe each drug for each different medical condition. And I think, like I mentioned in one of my other parts of this, I mean, all this cancer, they have cures for cancer. Basically, you can prevent and cure cancer with diet. And they probably have a pharmaceutical thing that'll cure it too, but it's much more lucrative. They make a lot more money treating it rather than curing it. So they're not going to let any cure be known. Just like they're not going to tell anybody about kombucha for all the different things. I've just barely scratched the surface of what kombucha is good for. It's been around for thousands of years. Cultures that drink kombucha on a regular basis, are very long lived. And they have none of the cancers and none of the stomach and heart problems that we have in this society, which also has to do with, processed food and GMOs and fluoride in the water. And obviously chemtrails, which, really you can't avoid anymore, but at least you can try to detox from the chemtrails, which I may go into at some point. But, I'm a naturalist. I've lived in the woods. I grow plants and animals for myself. I forage, I fish. But it's going to get hard to garden. They're saying now it's getting harder to normalize the pH in your soil from all the aluminum stuff that's raining down on us all the time. And I noticed too that they spray and they chemtrail a lot more when there's a front coming through, which they're controlling all these fronts anyway, pretty much. But they hit us hard in here in Vermont all winter long. If the wind's blowing, they don't hit us that hard because they know it's just going to blow away. But if there's a front coming and it's a nice calm day right before the front, man, they'll just saturate the crap out of us with that hideous stuff. And so many people do stuff on chemtrails that You know, I'm not going to put out a lot of videos on chemtrails, but I just, you know, it's one of those things that really pisses me off. God's beautiful creation, they just destroy all the time. But, you know, when Judgment Day comes, when Jesus comes back, all these people that are spraying chemtrails, you know, unless they repent, you know, they're going to get theirs. But, you know, I also think a lot of these planes and stuff are remote controlled. A lot of the sprayers, I'm not sure they even have pilots in them. But what I wonder about is, you know, that this program is so widespread with these chemtrails. You know, there must be some places that are just constantly filling up these tanks with these aerosols. And I haven't seen it on YouTube anywhere of finding out where these bases are that these planes come from, and the whole, it must be just such a gigantic program to produce all these poisons, to produce the nanofibers. And I have seen some stuff about what they're made of with the nanofibers and the fiberglass that they spray with aluminum and stuff. But it's a huge thing, you know, but it must be somewhat well hidden, because there's very little stuff that I found on YouTube of where these bases are and where all this stuff is produced. And I know the coal ash, a lot of it they say is coming from West Virginia, from the coal mines, because the coal ash is a big part of a lot of it. But, you know, every cloud is pink now. Every cloud looks fake and flat, and you know, I try to point it out to people. We get these glowing neon clouds in the middle of the day. It looks like a frickin' neon sign turned on. And I point them out. Oh, that's cool looking. Look at that. I was like, it's cool looking. Yeah, it's cool looking because it's fake and poison, and you know. And I get the eyes rolling back in the head. So yeah, a little bit of a rant. Chemtrails and people being hypnotized by the medical deities drives me nuts. But you know, I got Jesus, and that's the truth, the way, the truth, and the life. So I'm still gearing up for my Jesus testimony, but it's you know, it's more important than any of these little rants. So I don't want to just do it, you know. All right, here was my rant for the day. I hope somebody might get something out of it. But yeah, don't. If you've got any kind of medical issue or little things, problems, find a natural cure. Don't go to the frickin' doctor. You know, go to a naturopath. There's lots of naturopaths now. As a matter of fact, when I had the shingles, I called the naturopath that I go to sometimes to find out. I had already gone and got my stuff at the co-op, because it's usually a lot cheaper than going to the naturopath apothecary there. But, you know, I called them up and you know, because, you know, I wanted to find out about what they had for salves, you know, for the rash and everything. And I told the gal there what I had got at the co-op. She said, oh, yeah, that's just, because she said, well, I will give you an antiviral supplement. And I asked her what was in it. And then I told her what was in the ones I was taking. She said, oh, no, you're good. That's what I would have recommended. So, you know, I just found it on YouTube. And, you know, that reishi mushroom's a real good one. So yeah, if you got shingles, do what I said, and anyway, all right, love all you guys. Bye.